Alright, welcome to my first episode of the series how to make your favorite car or the car of your choosing, of your choice, work best at whatever track. This time, the first time, it's as you can probably see, it is on the track Interlagos in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Let's start with the replay and I'll try and find the best round, best lap to explain what I'm doing to make the Porsche 911 RSR work best. It might not be the best car for the track, but with my tips you might be able to get the best result you want with this car. For me it's my personal favorite car, so I started as third. Let's take the view I'm raced with. I'm gonna switch on the race details. So as per usual, at the bottom, like on my engine hood, or what's the word in English, British English again, so you can see the gas indication on the right side and the throttle indication, and on the left side you can see the brakes, but if you play the game you know it. So I'll just start from here because I've been blabbering until now. So the best gear in this, let's pause it here. So the best gear for the turn we are coming up now after the straight is the second gear in my opinion with this car, and you brake roundabout shortly after the 100 sign, but then you also have to apply the brakes kind of hard first. Then you let go of them slightly. See here, as you can see on the left side I'm heavy on the brakes. I don't know if that's German English, but I guess you understand. So here I'm only slightly on the brakes anymore, or that's just a slight indication of the bar, probably because I already let it go, but it takes some time, you know. Some couple of hundreds or thousands of a second. And when I'm right more or less at the apex of the turn, I carefully apply the throttle again. So the apex is roundabout where the street on the left comes in, or maybe even a little earlier. So yeah, here on the right side, bottom side, you can see I'm applying the throttle slightly. So once more again. I'll do this turn and the turns before the turn I'm describing right now when we come to them. Yeah, and then here you can actually already apply full throttle. I mean, when you've passed the right curb in the turn before, you can start applying full throttle, but wait until you have kind of cleared the curbing. And here you can take the left curb even more on the inside. Use it even more, the curb, but yeah, this is how I did it this lap. So let's see what comes ahead. The next turn you have to kind of brake between the 150 sign, but rather more or less right after the 100 sign, because at the 50 sign it's too late. So let's see, here I'm still on full throttle. Still. So here I'll already let go of the throttle, or at least slightly. Yeah, still applying a little bit of throttle and already the brake you can see on the left. Yeah, you should take the turn not quite completely on the inside at this first part of the turn, but on the next turn you want to be as much on the inside as possible and also take a little bit of the curb. Let's see. Yeah, kind of like this. So let's see again. Yeah, maybe you also want to shift down in the second gear with this car before this turn, you know. I'll show again where. But then you have to also remember applying more throttle if you know, take a lower gear, if you take the second gear. So here, when I said here, you can put shift down into the second gear. So let's see it one more time. The first time I'm doing such a video. Yeah, kind of like I did there, but maybe even a little earlier and a little longer. But yeah, so let's focus on the next turn right now. Let's see it first before I break it into the parts. Okay. So you don't want to brake too late, obviously. But yeah, this here is kind of the moment where you should brake with this car, but not, you know, full on the brakes. Only like 3/4 or so. And yeah, then you wanna shift down according to the speed and kind of turn in this right hand turn, and when you around the apex, or definitely at the apex, you let go of the throttle and the brakes and let just you know, let the car do the turn itself, kind of. Of course you still steer. That's a given. So yeah, so you kind of let the back of the car shove over your front wheels, if that makes sense. Okay, so let's continue. Okay, on the left side you can see the brakes I'm applying. Here I'm already letting go of them. We are almost at the apex, and you can see no throttle and no brakes are applied at the moment. You can also use the speed indication here for kind of reference. Here you apply a little bit of throttle again. So when you notice your car is on the right track, then you can apply the throttle again. But first slightly, because the turn is it's a very sharp turn. Here I'm almost half on the brakes again. And there we go. Just one more time in full, so you can see it in one take. Alright, so let's focus on this left turn now. Also reuse the speed again for reference, for orientation. And here you can see in between, you know, the right hand turn on before and this left hand turn, I very shortly pushed down the throttle, and very shortly again I'm letting go of it and applying brakes again, but only slightly. And then yeah, you kind of use a bit of throttle to go through this left hand turn. And when you have, you know, more or less cleared the left hand turn, you already have focused and are focusing on the right side, and you use that as an orientation point and use that and to, you know, to gauge the amount of throttle you have to apply to be as fast as possible to the next section. Yeah, one more time. So throttle very shortly and brake. A little bit of throttle, pushing through and shifting up. But don't shift up too early, because otherwise you will end up on the grass. One more time. And shift up. But also be careful with your application of throttle when you do that. So this right hand turn is even more sharp, more tight, you know what I mean, than the other right hand turn we had before. It's two similar sections, but this one is even a bit trickier. The turn is more extreme. It also, you know, there's some different elevation. It goes down a little. Let's see first, and then I'll break it into the parts. So let's focus on when to brake. I mean, I don't know if the braking, what's it called? Let's just say patterns. When the braking patterns on the track, you know, from the other cars, when they start, you start applying the brakes. See? One more time. And you push it through fully, only for a moment. I went too far back. Okay. You let it go and just. Oh, that was the other. Okay. But yeah, they are very similar. So here we are. Not applying the brakes yet. Still not. Here I've already started applying the brakes. Also, of course, you can use different things to orient yourself. Maybe on the ads on the left side, or maybe on this, you know, kind of artificial green on the right side, or you know, what works best for you. Here, still full on throttle brakes. Here I've started letting go, as you can see on the bar on the left side for the brakes. And yeah, once again, you can also use the speed indicator in my video for reference, for orientation. Okay, I've almost let go completely of the brakes. Here I have no more brakes. I'm just letting the car roll. I'm not applying any throttle yet either. We are almost at the apex. Here is the apex, I would say. Maybe a few centimeters more ahead. And yeah, as you can see on the throttle indication, I've started applying a little bit of throttle in the first gear. Still not too much, as you can see. A little less even now. And I've now almost cleared the right hand turn, and I'm on full throttle now. Shifting up to the left side, left hand turn. Here you don't want to be too much on the inside, but very much on the curbing, as you can see. And also not apply full throttle all the time. Just, you know, as you progress towards through the left hand turn. So let's see it one more time without any brakes, without any you know, pauses, I mean. Okay. So here I'm still full on throttle and shifting up. Third gear now. Getting closer to the curbing. Touching the curb already. Half on throttle now because, you know, the turn isn't always as wide as it is first. It gets a little more tight and then wide again. So here I'm applying more throttle again already. More. Full on throttle now. And I think that was almost the best way and the best example how to do it with this car. Here I'm full on the brakes for this kind of tricky left-hand turn. And I personally would recommend the first gear most of the time, because in the second gear you the car doesn't turn in as much as tightly as possible as you would like to have it, and then you would exit the turn with not enough speed, or at least less speed than possible. And we want to be as fast as possible, of course. It's a racing game. Yeah, and let's see it one more time. So you can look at when I'm applying throttle again. Not too much at first, of course, because we want to enter, always want to enter a turn as fast as possible, but you know, less quick than we leave it, of course. Maybe you can turn in a little later than I'm doing. There's always room for improvement, but I think this is kind of a good example. So at the first gear, 99 kilometers per hour. I'm using kilometers per hour, I'm sorry. If you're using mph, miles per hour, I don't know why you would, but yeah. Then yeah, you have to find out by your own, I guess. Okay, let's continue. So you saw, as I was almost through the turn, I started accelerating again and shifting up. So you want to shift up kind of early enough, of course, because the first gear doesn't go very far speed-wise, and then you're wasting your potential of speed. And here I don't know why the other cars, the other players always go around so wide. I think it can be as fast and even faster on the inside, and you have less track to pass or leave behind. Okay, so the first turn I'm braking kind of late, as you can see. But yeah, let's continue first. And for most of the turn I used the first gear. Okay, let's break it down. So 150 is of course too early. 100 can be alright, but I think you're wasting a bit of time, and you know, giving the other people the opportunity to overtake you if they are kind of close. So of course the 50 sign is too late, but yeah, kind of between the 100 and 50 signs you want to start braking. So in this shot you can see I'm still fully on the throttle, but I should be braking now first with full application of the braking pedal kind of around now. Let's see. Still not. Still not. So I'm actually braking at the 50 sign. Okay, sorry. Yeah, but here full full throttle, no, full braking pedal. Still staying on the outside a little, but not too much, because it's easy to get on the grass, also because the turn tightens very fast now. So already letting go of the braking pedal a little bit, not completely of course, just slightly. Still kind of on the outside. Maybe you could go a little more on the outside, but I think this is almost perfect. So, and here I've shifted down into the first gear. Once again, with this car you can pass a turn more tightly and more easily in a lower gear. Alright, so here for a brief moment I neither apply braking pedal nor the throttle pedal, gas pedal. Maybe I'm a little too early on the curbing here, but then to do it a little later, because the apex is still like 1 meter ahead, I think. I would need to be a little more on the outside, or not turn in as hard first as I'm doing. But yeah, so here I would say is the apex. Still first gear, reapplying the throttle now, as you can see on the right side. It's a little difficult to see because my car is white and the indication for the throttle is white, but I think you can see it. Okay, here I'm almost leaving the curbing now. More throttle, turning a little more on to the left side to prepare for the next turn, for the next right-hand turn. And as the cars are doing ahead, we can do it too. Use actually a lot of the curb, but make sure it's still some tire is on the track, or at least the curb, because if you're too far on the right side and already on the artificial grass or the artificial green there, you might get a penalty. So almost full throttle, as you can see, still in the first gear but shifting up any moment now. Yeah, here it is. And here you let go a little bit of the throttle. Only apply partial throttle, like half of it. Use the curb. And about here you apply full throttle again. Maybe a little later than I'm doing, but yeah, this is kind of the way to do it. And yeah, obviously here we use full throttle most of the time. Just adapt as you go, because you will develop a feeling for when you might be too fast for the exit. You can obviously use a lot of the curbing on the outside, but also there are limits to that. So as you could see, I kind of let go of the throttle and reapplied it. Maybe that wasn't necessary, but yeah. If you have a better feeling, as I had in this lap, you can in this example, maybe I should have refrained from letting go of the throttle and just kept applying the throttle. I would have ended up a little on the curbing on the right side probably and carried more speed. So in the end, this has been one lap. So, but let's see this last section again in one piece. Yeah, I think it wasn't necessary to let go of the pedal, but anyway. there's almost never a perfect lap, or there is never a perfect lap, I think. So let's see one more lap, and then I'll round up the video, wrap up the video. Yeah, and on this last right-hand turn we had here, I have to tell you, if you don't know that already, if you get too much on the inside, you might have to use a bit of throttle earlier and be prepared to, you know, counter steer, because then you might have oversteer. Let's see here. So if here, when you're too much on the inside, you have a little bit of a problem leaving the turn. Yeah, that wasn't as good as the last lap, this left-hand turn we just passed, but yeah, you can't always make it right. And here you can, you know, shortcut a little bit, stay with at least one tire on the track. Alright. So maybe, well, if you watch the video you will already see it, but maybe I'll include the video of the race at the end of this video, or I'll do an extra video with it, or just, you know, show some bits and pieces of it together with some other races on this track, or even on other tracks. You will see. But yeah, if I don't, if I put the race not at the end of this video, I hope this was helpful for you. Let me know if you need more help, if you need more details or whatever, or if you think I did something, you know, too much in detail or whatever. Just let me know in the comments, and also let me know in the comments if you like this, what you think about it, and if you're not a subscriber, subscribe, comment and share, all, you know, all this stuff. So enough talking for the moment. I hope you had fun, I hope it was useful for you, and see you guys next time. Take care, goodbye, this is Mid Racing, see you.